Every day, we are confronted with the darker aspects of the world around us, acts of cruelty and violence that often defy understanding. While these tragedies are painful to witness, they are impossible to ignore. As someone immersed in the realm of crime stories, I aim to share the most shocking cases and explore what motivates individuals to commit such acts. I'm Michael, and today I bring you another astonishing true crime story. One March evening, when police and paramedics arrived at a house, an eerie silence greeted them. The frantic Dividsada-Dinist call had described a desperate plea for help, mentioning someone trapped in the basement. A faint scent of paint lingered in the air, and the basement door was slightly ajar, almost beckoning investigators to look inside. Descending the stairs, they encountered a heartbreaking scene. Cara Rentala sat on the floor, clutching the lifeless body of her wife, Anna Marie Cochran. Both were covered in blood and streaks of paint, with chaos strewn across the floor, creating a confusing tableau. Initially, it seemed like a tragic accident. Perhaps Anna Marie had fallen down the stairs. But as investigators examined the scene more closely, strange details emerged. Bloodstains in unusual places, signs of movement, and inconsistencies in the story. Was this truly an accident, or was something far darker at play? Cara Rentala was born in 1965 in Massachusetts. Little is known about her early years or family background, but she grew up in the small town of Granby in Hampshire County near Springfield. She pursued her education and became a certified emergency medical technician, a profession that allowed her to combine her desire to help others with a wish to make a positive difference. Later, she joined the local fire department, dedicating herself to serving her community. From a young age, Cara was known for her reserved nature, often keeping her thoughts and feelings to herself, which sometimes left her feeling isolated and hindered her ability to form close relationships. Everything changed in 2002, when she met Anna Marie Cochran, a vibrant 30-year-old paramedic whose lively spirit brought brightness into Cara's life. Anna Marie Cochran, born on July 30th, 1972 in Springfield, was known for her energetic and adventurous personality. Little is documented about her childhood, except that she was the daughter of William and Lucy and had a brother named Charles. From a young age, Anna was recognized for her zest for life and her motto to live each day fully. At 16, she revealed her sexual orientation to her family after a dramatic incident in which she disappeared for a night and was later found at a motel with another girl. Though initially shocked, her parents eventually accepted her for who she was. As a paramedic, Anna found a profession where her dedication and lively personality could truly shine. In the environment where their paths crossed, Anna met Cara, who was 7 years her senior. Despite their contrasting personalities, Cara being introverted and Anna outgoing, they quickly formed a strong connection that soon blossomed into romance. Their bond deepened over time, culminating in their marriage in Massachusetts in 2005, making them among the first same-sex couples to legally wed in the state. Driven by love and shared aspirations, they adopted a fragile baby girl named Brianna in 2007, further cementing their family unit. However, their relationship was not immune to difficulties. Financial hardships began to strain their harmony, as Anna's impulsive spending led to credit card debts reaching $20,000. Matters worsened when Anna allegedly committed fraud by opening a credit account in Cara's name, igniting fierce arguments and domestic conflicts. In September of 2008, Anna sought a restraining order against Cara, accusing her of physical abuse. Although Cara was arrested for domestic assault, she denied the allegations, and Anna later dropped the charges. Despite this, their relationship remained fractured, and tensions continued to mount. By May of 2009, the strain reached a breaking point. An emergency call from their home alarmed authorities, but both women insisted it was a mistake, blaming Brianna for accidentally dialing. Later that day, Cara filed for divorce, signaling their growing separation. Over the following weeks, accusations of threats surfaced, and both women sought mutual restraining orders. A judge, recognizing the instability, warned that Brianna's custody could be at risk if their situation did not improve. In June, Anna began seeing a former partner, Carla, a police officer, and temporarily moved in with her. Yet, after accumulating $10,000 in debt on Carla's credit cards, their relationship soured, prompting Anna to return to Cara's home. Despite their ongoing financial struggles, they attempted to rekindle their bond with a Caribbean cruise, but the trip offered only a brief respite from their mounting issues. By 2010, their marriage was nearing collapse. Both women had begun engaging with others outside their relationship, fueling jealousy and mistrust. Cara's close friendship with a man named Mike sparked Anna's suspicion, while Anna's charm and manipulative tendencies led her to persuade a married co-worker, Mark, to give her several credit cards, on which she accumulated $7,000 in debt. By late March of 2010, their relationship was beyond repair. On the night of March 28th, an argument erupted after Anna discovered Cara had invited a male friend over while Anna was on duty. Heated exchanges followed, with Anna threatening to leave Cara. Tragedy struck shortly after 7 o'clock that evening, marking the devastating end of their tumultuous journey. Cara, clutching her daughter Brianna, arrived at a neighbor's house in a state of panic. She handed Brianna over and urgently asked them to call emergency services, explaining that Anna was lying injured in the basement. Without delay, Cara rushed back to her home, leaving behind a community soon to be shaken by the tragic events unfolding inside. Within 3 minutes of the Divitzat call, police and paramedics arrived at the rental residence. Upon entering, an officer heard Carrara's frantic sobs and saw that the basement door was slightly ajar. Descending the stairs, he encountered a horrifying scene. Carrara was sitting on the floor, crying uncontrollably, holding the lifeless body of 37-year-old Anna. Both women were covered in blood and streaked with white paint. Amid the chaos, Carrara was questioned at the scene. She explained that she had been running errands with Brianna to give Anna some time to rest. According to her, Anna had returned home around 8:30 in the morning after finishing her night shift. Despite a recent argument, they had shared a peaceful breakfast before Anna asked Carrara to take Brianna out so she could sleep before her next shift. Carrara claimed she left the house around 3 in the afternoon, making several stops in nearby towns and arriving at a shopping mall just before 5. While there, she sent multiple text messages to Anna but received no reply, which began to worry her. About half an hour later, Carrara left the mall and stopped at a fast food restaurant to buy a meal for Brianna. Still unable to reach Anna by phone, her concern grew, and she hurried home around 7 in the evening. What she found there was a nightmare. Anna's body in the basement. Panicking, Cara took Brianna to a neighbor's house for safety, then returned to the basement to hold Anna until emergency responders arrived. When asked what she thought had happened, Cara initially suggested that Anna might have fallen down the stairs. The scene seemed to support this theory. Anna was found near an overturned paint can, with some spilled paint already dried, while other areas remained wet. However, further investigation revealed inconsistencies that pointed to something far more sinister. Forensic experts noted that the rigor mortis had already set in, indicating Anna had been dead for several hours. Blood was present in multiple basement areas, including beneath a laundry basket, suggesting the scene might have been staged. The partially dried paint appeared to have been deliberately poured over Anna's body at different times. These details cast serious doubt on the initial assumption of an accidental fall. A few days later, autopsy results confirmed the worst. Anna's cause of death was strangulation. The medical examiner found that someone had applied sustained pressure to her neck for approximately 4 minutes, leading to her death. Additionally, Anna had 23 recent bruises and multiple blunt force injuries to her head, indicating she had endured a violent assault. The estimated time of death was between 11 in the morning and noon. At around 1 p.m., Cara was confirmed to be at home during the time of the crime, despite her claims that she had left earlier in the afternoon with Brianna. Once the death was classified as a suspected homicide, suspicion quickly fell on Cara. During her initial police interviews, she described Anna as loud, lazy, and manipulative, hinting at her wife's volatile temper. However, before further questioning could take place, Cara retained legal counsel, prompting investigators to delve into the couple's troubled history. They uncovered a pattern of domestic violence, financial disputes, and mutual resentment that painted a complex picture of their relationship. Further investigation revealed a more intricate side to Anna's life. Police found evidence that Anna had been romantically involved with a married co-worker named Mark. On the morning of her death, Anna had sent Mark a text asking him to take her shopping for a new phone. Mark admitted receiving the message and acknowledged that Anna had accumulated substantial debt on his credit cards. He claimed to have been out of town visiting his ill sister on the day of the murder, providing receipts to support his alibi. Without concrete evidence linking Mark to the crime, investigators refocused on Cara. The timeline of events became crucial. Cara insisted she left the house in the afternoon and only returned around 7 p.m., but security footage from nearby businesses failed to place her in public during that period. The paint covering Anna's body also raised questions. It was a specialized ceiling paint that changed from pink to white within an hour of application. When authorities arrived, the paint was still pink, indicating it had been poured over Anna shortly before the emergency call. This, along with evidence of an attempt to clean the basement, blood splatters beneath shelves, and on concrete surfaces suggested a deliberate effort to alter the crime scene. The scene itself was suspicious. If an intruder had killed Anna, why would they move a laundry basket and pour paint over her body? Further clues emerged from semicircular marks on the side door frame, implying a staged break-in. Security footage from Cara's errands showed a laundry basket and a red bag in her SUV while she was shopping at a mall. Both items were missing when she returned home. A thorough search of a nearby dumpster uncovered 3 rags, one stained with what appeared to be blood, despite mounting evidence against her. No direct eyewitnesses or surveillance footage linked Cara conclusively to the murder, complicating the case. Over more than a year, the investigation continued. During this time, Cara sold her house and moved with her daughter to her parents' home in Rhode Island. In October of 2011, she was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, making her the first woman in Massachusetts history to face such a charge for the death of her wife. The ensuing legal battle spanned a decade, testing the resolve of everyone involved. After an 18-month investigation, the Northwestern District Attorney's Office declared there was no doubt that Cara was responsible. Prosecutors argued that she had attacked Anna following a heated argument, pushed her down the basement stairs, and strangled her. They also accused Cara of attempting to cover her tracks by cleaning the crime scene and pouring paint over Anna's body to hide evidence. Based on their timeline, they maintained that the murder occurred sometime around noon. On the afternoon of March 29, 2010, just moments before Cara claimed to have left her house, her trial was set to begin. The proceedings, which started on February 20, 2013, painted a bleak picture of a marriage unraveling under mounting pressure. Prosecutors depicted a couple burdened by nearly $95,000 in debt from credit cards and car loans, fueling relentless arguments. Tensions escalated with heated disputes over custody, restraining orders, and accusations of domestic violence. They argued that on the morning of the murder, Cara had killed Anna in a sudden outburst of rage, then spent the afternoon attempting to cover her tracks. Evidence, such as a missing red bag, a laundry basket, and a blood-stained rag found in a dumpster, was presented to support her efforts to destroy incriminating material. Additionally, damage to the side door was interpreted as staging a break-in. Cara's defense challenged the prosecution's timeline and questioned the reliability of the evidence. A forensic expert testified that Anna's time of death was likely between 2:30 and 5:20 in the afternoon, coinciding with Cara's alleged errands. The defense also pointed out inconsistencies, such as the blood-stained rag's degraded condition, which made it difficult to confirm whether the blood was human or belonged to Anna. They further argued that the investigation had flaws and suggested other suspects, including Anna's co-worker Mark. Mark's questionable relationship with Anna, his false alibi on the day of the murder, and his obsessive behavior were highlighted. However, his alibi ultimately held up under scrutiny. The focus then shifted back to Cara. Her initial trial concluded on March 13, 2013, with a mistrial after the jury failed to reach a unanimous verdict. A second trial in February 2014 ended similarly, with two deadlocked juries. It was not until October 2016 that a third trial commenced, featuring some procedural adjustments. This time, the prosecution proposed that the murder could have been either premeditated or a sudden, unplanned act, arguing that while they believed it was deliberate, an impulsive element was possible. During this trial, an expert testified that the paint on Anna's body and the surrounding area appeared fresh when first responders arrived, suggesting Cara had used it to alter the crime scene. After hours of deliberation, the jury found Cara guilty of first-degree murder on October 7, 2016. She was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole, seemingly bringing closure to Anna's family. However, on September 27, 2021, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court overturned her conviction. The court ruled that the paint expert's testimony was unreliable and should have been excluded, as it had significantly influenced the jury's decision. Consequently, a new trial was ordered. Cara's conviction was ultimately not overturned. She was released on a $50,000 bought bail and returned to her family's home in Rhode Island under strict conditions, including GPS monitoring and a court-imposed curfew. Despite this setback, the district attorney's office announced that Cara Rentala would face a fourth trial scheduled for September of 2023. This new trial provided the prosecution with another opportunity to prove its case, yet doubts about the evidence's interpretation and the defense's focus on alternative suspects, such as Anna's co-worker Mark, continued to complicate the narrative. The prosecution's persistence, even after years of legal proceedings, reflected a steadfast commitment to justice, not only for the victim, but also to uphold the integrity of the legal system. On September 13th of 2023, Cara, still asserting her innocence, returned to court for her fourth appearance. The courtroom was tense as the proceedings unfolded. Finally, on October 5th of that year, the jury reached a verdict. Cara Rentala, now 58, was found guilty of voluntary manslaughter. The atmosphere was heavy with emotion as murmurs filled the room, and the judge revoked her bail, marking her second conviction in a case that had spanned over a decade. Following the verdict, Cara was handcuffed and taken into custody. Meanwhile, Anna's family expressed relief, believing that justice had been served. Yet, controversy surrounding the case persisted. A week later, during the sentencing hearing, prosecutors argued for a sentence between 15 and 17 years, emphasizing the violent nature of the crime and Cara's deliberate attempts to manipulate the scene. They detailed how Anna had endured a slow, agonizing death by strangulation, a process that took several minutes. Although the jury had determined the act was committed in a moment of passion, the prosecution insisted it was premeditated, citing Cara's efforts to conceal her involvement. They also underscored the profound harm inflicted, particularly on the couple's 3-year-old daughter, Brianna, who had lost her mother. In contrast, the defense argued that Cara had already served significant time, 7 years, and urged the court to impose a fair and reasonable sentence. They highlighted her career as an emergency medical technician, her lack of prior criminal history, and over 40 character reference letters attesting to her dedication as a mother. In a poignant moment, Brianna, now 16, delivered a heartfelt statement to the court. Her words moved everyone present as she spoke about the pain of losing her mother and the struggle of being separated from Cara, the only parent she remembered. Through tears, Brianna recounted how their bond, maintained through letters, phone calls, and visits during Cara's incarceration, had sustained her. She also shared how her mother's release in 2021 had brought her some comfort amid the ongoing pain. Brianna's heartfelt testimony revealed how Cara's presence had profoundly changed her life. She described how Cara's support helped her excel academically, join sports teams, and rediscover hope after difficult times. In her plea to the judge, Brianna expressed her unwavering love for Cara and earnestly begged for her release, insisting, "I need my mom. Having her back means everything to me." After considering the testimonies and numerous letters of support, the judge issued a final ruling on October 19, 2023. Cara Rentala was sentenced to serve between 12 and 14 years in prison for the strangulation of her wife. Her sentence was reduced by the 7 years she had already served since her initial conviction in 2016. Currently, Cara Rentala is incarcerated at the Massachusetts Correctional Institution for Women, where she will serve the remaining years of her sentence. Over time, her case has attracted widespread public attention and has been featured in documentaries such as At the Bottom of the Stairs and Descending into the Basement. The tragic case of Anna Morrow and Cara Rentala remains a haunting reminder of how personal relationships can spiral into deadly violence. It highlights the intricate nature of human emotions and the devastating fallout from unresolved conflicts.